Well, ZAP started as a result of my taking students from Lewis and Clark College to Zimbabwe on a gender-focused program. We went to a rural area called Weya, where women do art. And it was because of their art that I took the students there, arranged for them to stay for a month. They lived with families for that month. And at the end of the month, as we were about to leave and go elsewhere in Zimbabwe, the women asked me to find a market for their art in the States, and that was the first moment. You know, I'm a sociology professor. I'm not a businessman. I've never wanted to market anything, and when the women asked me to find a market and I said yes, it was slightly obligatory, and really I had no idea when I said yes that it would actually happen and become something. The artists are women from a rural area called Weya. There are also men. It's a beautiful area. There's rocky outcroppings, hills, and it's quite lovely, but it's not very economically productive land. It's hard to find good water, and one can't grow hardly anything without fertilizers as well as seeds. So it's a difficult economic space. It's a difficult space to make a living out of. They are women, most of whose husbands are either elsewhere in Zimbabwe or out of Zimbabwe, migratory labor, or women who are divorced or who have been separated, or women who've never had a husband, widows. Most of them are, by all appearances in the rural area, single women taking care of families. We have, I think, somewhere around 75 artists right now who supply us on a fairly regular basis, maybe 50 who supply us fairly constantly, and a bunch of others who every now and again will produce a piece, either because they're sick and they can't do very much, or because they don't have the resources to buy materials in the first place, and that can be a downward spiral if they don't sell or get sick. It's hard to get the money to buy materials. We provide health care for all the artists, and that's a big issue in rural Zimbabwe, where most people have very limited access to health care. We are very community connected. It is about people. I mean, the art is the means, but the end is the connection with people. And if we were to expand, that would dilute our capacity to be with, to engage with, to know, to respond to the people that we deal with in these few rural communities in Weya. We want to humanize Africa, so it's not just this awful continent with problems and insoluble issues and health, diseases, wars, famines, etc. Real, creative, wonderful people doing their work to sustain themselves. ZAP is about human dignity and self-respect. And that involves, from our side, a culturally sensitive compassion and a set of values about how to be with people. It's not always the easiest thing to do as we move resources from a resource-rich space to a resource-limited space, to make sure that those things happen, that we stay focused on and are effective in dealing with dignity and self-respect. But we try. It's fundamentally important. It's the best thing we can possibly do in the world, and we try to do it well. That's the essence, I think, of Zimbabwe Artists Project that I would want to speak about.